All right, wind her up. Let's see if we are online. Tick, tick, tick. There we go. All right, little music to wind us up.
Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In the search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Preacher man discovered, passed down from saint to sage, like a kind-hearted lover who's been lost on this stage. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Crossroads, sitting doing time. Junkie and the chigger just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, is he yours or is he mine? Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. We're missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at a crossroads, joker's doing fine. Just sitting doing time.
And there we have it. A little warm-up music, get everyone going. All right, well, welcome to the show. We still got another minute or two before we take it officially live. So as we do that, I'm just doing my final bits and pieces and checks. Welcome to the show, everyone. For those that tune in live, for those that aren't live, well, you missed this beautiful pre-stream bit of information because it gets cut off. Your loss, not mine. Okay, let's see what we got. That's it. It is time to do the show. Bring her on up. And we are live. Okay, off we go. Wind this puppy up. It's episode 424, and I've got plugins for cleaning shortcodes, protecting files, the topper, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z. WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the Brewery Overlook in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall, and I have the usual great show for you today. Of course, all the show notes can be found at WPPluginsA2Z.com. Take a minute and subscribe to the newsletter and get out there and hit everyone in the mouth. Spread the word about WP Plugins A to Z and catch it live every Thursday at noon on our YouTube channel. And with that all being said, let's just dive right into the meat potatoes of the show. All right, well, starting it off here, I have a great plugin that I have yet to use, but felt you would want to know a bit about it and that it exists. Keep in mind, ratings are based off the descriptions, their site, using the demo if available, etc., etc. This one here is called Shortcode Cleaner. And this one here is a freemium plugin, and they do have a premium version to go with it, but right off with the free version, there's a fair bit you can do. What it's great for is if you are moving from a website a theme that used lots of shortcodes in it, say you were using WP Bakery and now you're going to move on to Elementor, or you had plugins or other things that were using multiple shortcodes, well, cleaning that mess up can be a daunting task. I know I was working on another site. I'm pretty sure I reviewed another plugin in a previous show about cleaning up your shortcodes. This is one I didn't get to be testing because the other one works so great. But you'll want to check this one out. Once you install it, it goes in there and it activates. And at first, what it does is it just automatically hides the shortcodes. In other words, when shortcodes show up to be displayed, it just zeroes them out and it doesn't display a big chunk of code. They also have the ability in here with their premium version to go in there and actually, once you resave, you open up a post to edit, you see the shortcodes, it finds them, it hides them, and then when you resave it, they're all gone. So you don't have to go hunt them down and delete them. So this is something that's kind of a neat feature with it. I haven't tested it, so I'm not certain how well it works, but it does seem like something that's very worthwhile to check out. If you're going through that process of updating and replacing a theme or plugins or others that use shortcodes on your site, this may be something you'll want to investigate to see about going through and cleaning up the shortcodes on the website. All in all, it looks to be a pretty good plugin for you. Can save you a fair chunk of time and effort. Go check it out. It is called Shortcode Cleaner Lite, and they do have a premium version. Links are in the show notes for it, and I give this one a 4 dragon rating. Okay, a little bit of news and information from this week. What do we got? Well, of course, first off, and you know it's bad when it makes Forbes magazine, and it's a critical backdoor attack, a warning issued for 60 million WordPress users. Now, this is because there are a lot of plugins out there, nice little list of them that are being infiltrated and abused by the hackers. They've got vulnerabilities, and these are plugins as Bold Page Builder, Blog Designer, Live Chat with Facebook Messenger, Uzo Related Post, Visual CSS Style Editor, WP Live Chat, Form Lightbox, Hybrid Composer, and you know, these are all plugins that you'll want to have a look at. If you're using any of these, make sure you go check it out and see if you might be at risk. There's other plugins out there that you want to stay on top of, but this is the first one out there, and you know it's getting bad when it makes Forbes magazine because they don't normally report on that sort of thing. A little bit of news from the WordPress world itself, and this one here is it seems the WordPress governance project is looking for new leadership after the current leaders, Morten Rand Hendrickson and Rachel Cherry, It seems after they announced they'll be stepping down. I don't know the full story, but I know this project here ran into lots of problems. The governance project wasn't recognized. It started after the fiasco with Gutenberg. This is, another one of WordPress's little fiascos that's going on. If you're interested in it, go check them out. They may be able to salvage it. Who knows? But it is an interesting article and a little bit of history on the governance project. Go check that piece of news. Link is in the show notes, or just go to WP Tavern and check them out. A final little bit of piece of news I got for you is from iThemes Security, and this is their vulnerability roundup from August part 2. This is going through the list of plugins and that are having vulnerabilities and if they've been patched or not. It seems NextGen was having problems, Easy Forms for MailChimp, WP Social Feed, and on and on. They've got a pretty good list of them. Almost all of them have had vulnerabilities patched, so you'll want to make sure that you're checking on things. If you are using a plugin called User Pro, which is from Code Canyon, you will want to stop using that plugin until a patch is released. It's still not been released, and it's vulnerable to cross-site scripting. So make sure you go check it out and see if your plugins are on any of this list if you haven't already done all updates you can for your website. Best thing to do is if you got updates, read the update report on it and what the change log on it, and then do the updates if it's looking like something you might be impacted by. A little bit of news still from me and plugin dynamics. We are moving along. We are really close to a beta version of Tabular Data Dynamics. We have it working fairly well. I've got it in the hands of an alpha tester right now, aside from me, and he hasn't gotten the latest build, which came about last night, so he'll want to check that one out. So get a hold of me if you'd like to check out Tabular Data Dynamics. This is a plugin for building tables of any type in your WordPress website. You can build your tables manually. You can import and export CSV files. It's soon going to have the ability to import and export XLS files, the search function in it. Oh, there's a lot to this plugin, and it's coming along quite nicely. It's been a long time in development, so this is going to be our main plugin. We do have a couple other plugins that we've done that haven't got ready to release yet. A date calculator, a metric conversion one, and a clock plugin. We are in development for a tarot reading plugin and an intranet lockdown plugin. So these are the things that are coming from Plugin Dynamics. So you'll want to get in hold of me if you want to alpha test any of these plugins. Hey, contests. We do have a contest to win a premium license for Magic Conversation for Gravity Forms, and all our contests are powered by the Simple Giveaways plugin, who has kindly provided us with the premium version of their plugin to run our contests. You want to run contests on your site? Go check out this plugin. And the current contest, which is running till September 18th, has been pushed out from when it was supposed to be this week, but I got so busy the last couple weeks bringing a project to fruition that I just didn't have time to deal with it, so I just pushed the contest out a little bit longer. So 2 more weeks to enter the contest, where you can win a license for Magic Conversation for Gravity Forms. It is a plugin that allows you to turn your Gravity form into a conversation type form, create more engagement with your Gravity forms on your website. So go check this one out. It's a really great plugin. And if you want more information, check out the interview I did with Russ Mate from WP Pay-Per-View, who created this plugin, where we talk about this plugin and the other plugins they create. More information, just simply go to wpplugins.com/contests to find out what is happening there and to enter it. All we need is your name and email address, and enter it. And don't worry, if you've entered contests previously, we won't add you multiple times to the mailing list. All right, what do we got up here next for you? Next up, I have a plugin called Prevent Direct Access, and this is a freemium plugin. Now, this plugin here, I was hoping to do some replacements. I've been working on a project, an intranet project, and I've been using a plugin that's a few years old, and I wanted to see about replacing it, but we're just rebuilding the plugin. But at any rate, this one here, initially I had the promise of what I'm trying to do is I need to protect the downloads directory to prevent any outside sources from direct URLing to any of the files within the downloads directory, which is your images, etc., etc. But I needed to allow those images to be viewed by people who are viewing the site when they're inside an internal IP network, which is exempted. And I was hoping this plugin was going to do it. Well, unfortunately, this plugin didn't do that, and it was a lot worse than I thought it would be. It turns out the free version isn't all that helpful to those that are going to do it. It'll be good enough to find out if you want to use it, but as far as I was concerned, it was a rather disappointing plugin. What it does for you is it allows you to go in and it creates a new column inside your media library that allows you to protect the files and lock them down there. The free version only allows you to protect 3 files, no more than that. The premium version lets you do unlimited files, but the extra workload involved to manually protect files with this was a whole lot more than I thought it should be. And even with the free version, it just didn't work all of that well. And it's been a long time since I've done this, but unfortunately, this plugin here gets a 2 dragon rating. Yeah, that's been a while. So at any rate, you'll want to maybe avoid it. You can check it out, but I wouldn't give much high hopes to it. And of course, as I've said in the past, if I do run into them when they're not worthy, they still bring them to you to at least warn you away from them. All right. This show is supported by you, our producers, as a value for value model, meaning if you get any value out of it, then give some value back by becoming a producer and helping the show out. You can do that by donating money to help the show. Links are in the show notes. Submitting artwork to the WP Plugins Art Generator. This art is used on a weekly basis for the art that has showed up in iTunes and across every other podcast feed out there to change out the artwork every week. Submit articles, news, and information through the contact form. Submit plugin suggestions for reviews through the contact form for that. You can also create a monthly donation at Patreon or something I may not have thought of. So, producers, get out there, help this show grow, help it become your show, and I will produce what you want out there. I do like to acknowledge all the producers who have supported the show in various ways. And this week, I would like to acknowledge all of those who came in below $50. They remain anonymous, and I thank you very much for that. Donations of $50 and over are credited with executive producer credits in the show notes, and their note is read out on the show. So get out there and donate $50 or more. Get yourself a note in the show. Big thank you to all the producers out there. And a big thank you to the ones that donate time and artwork, and a big thank you to those who have hired me because of the podcast. Thank you very much. That's as good as donating to the show. Now, currently, this show is brought to you by... Are you tired of the same old web hosting? Not having the resources you need to run your website properly? Having a lack of control? Then you need johnoverall.com web hosting, providing you with all the resources you need to smoothly run your WordPress website or ClassicPress website. With strict limits on the number of clients allowed per server, johnoverall.com provides high-quality, fast server performance. Visit johnoverall.com for web hosting that won't slow you down. Absolutely. Come visit me for all your WordPress needs. Okay, next thing I've got here for you is a plugin that I rather was impressed with. It's called WPFront Scroll Top. And what this one's for is it solved a minor issue I was having in this project I was working on. There was one page in particular we created, and it was just a very, very long page. And this page has oh God, what do I want to call them? anchor tags, anchor links from the front page. So people click from the front page and they end up in different spots on this page, either halfway down, 3/4 down, way down the page. And of course, the way we've designed this site is we don't stick the menu at the top because of design choices by the client. So what happens is people have to scroll way back up to get to a menu, and this is one page that needed a back to top button. Most of the other pages are short, didn't require it. This one did. So what happened was I wanted to just stick a back to top button on this one page, and there's lots of ways you can do that out there. Encoding is the most common way, but that often applies to the entire site. Well, this plugin here lets you get in there, choose where you want or what pages you want the back to top button to appear. It even had a whole bevy of extra settings in it, including multiple icons you can choose from, the ability to choose your own custom icon for that, deciding which pages you can include, deciding which pages you can exclude. There's just a real lot that goes into this plugin. It's a really great one, smooth, worked very well, provided exactly what it needed to do, completely free. And of course, when I run into one of those, where else do they go but straight to the top? This one here gets a 5 Dragon rating. Go check it out, the WPFront Scroll Top. Really great plugin. I'm really happy I found that. Saved me lots of time. Hey, and ClassicPress options. What do we got for ClassicPress this week? Well, ClassicPress is still growing along. People are moving forward. There's a lot going on in their forums and other places on the web. You want to hear some interesting info, go check out the interview I did with James Nyland and Michelle Coe. Link is in the show notes for it. So a little bit of general information. Got a nice, great article that I picked up due to a discussion that was going on in the ClassicPress forums. This was from Dick Metcalf, editor of Contemporary Fusion Reviews. He wrote a nice article of no reason to delay, switch to ClassicPress today. Nice and rhyming, twister on the tongue. Anyway, it's a really great article, interesting take on why you might want to switch off to ClassicPress versus dealing with WordPress and what's going on there. Another little bit of information. There's a really great couple of discussions going on in the ClassicPress forums on what the needs are for ClassicPress plugins and what the people's views are on premium plugins and freemium plugins in there. So it's a really great article. Something you'll want to go check out. If you're dealing with ClassicPress, go check out this article. Code Potent was heading it, and he's looking for information on what are the biggest needs people need for plugins, plugin types, and what needs they need for their websites. And then there was another side topic started because of this, which is discussing all of the things going on around, or not all, but some of the things going on around paid plugins and what paid and premium plugins mean in the ClassicPress world. What they might mean, not what they mean, what they might mean in the ClassicPress world. So this is a really good article. I thought it was really interesting to check it all out. My personal viewpoint on it, I didn't dump it into the forums, but I should. I'm not overly great at typing things in. And what that is the premium plugins, the freemium plugins. Premium plugins are fantastic. People will pay for premium plugins if it provides the functionality they need and it's not ridiculously priced. And that's a tough one to call. But one of the big problems I've faced over the years of doing this with premium plugins is not being able to at least test the basic functionality before you shell out the money for that plugin. Now, while many places offer a refund if it doesn't work for you, they're still kind of on the hook, or is that person ever going to continue using the plugin even after they've got their money back? Did they scam me? But it's a tough call. One of the reasons for the freemium plugin, I believe, is that it provides enough functionality that people can get in there, test that plugin, and see if it provides the functionality basics they need. And then the premium stuff is added on when they need that extra functionality. And they're more than happy to pay when they need it. I know I have been. So that's my 2 cents on that. What do we got for ClassicPress? We do have a plugin for ClassicPress. This one here is called CP Vars, for CP variables. And this one's available over at GitHub, and it's from Simone. And with CP vars, you can define a name value associations from the admin. Then in your content, you can insert a shortcode, CP vars, a name, CP vars, and get that value displayed. It's useful if you have values such as phone numbers, number of employees on several pages. This can change, so you can change this once from the admin, not have to worry about it on your pages. So if you've got values that are regularly changing on certain pages and you don't want to have to hunt those pages down to change it, you can set this up in your admin area. It also has options that affect shortcodes on your site, and I haven't been able to test this plugin yet, but it does look rather interesting and intriguing. So I'll let you know when I get a test on it, but at the moment, it looks like it's worthy of a 4-dragon rating. So go check this out, and that information for the ClassicPress plugins can be found in the link in the show notes that takes you out to the listing of the ClassicPress plugins. There's a nice listing in ClassicPress that lists out, I believe it's 42 plugins. No, it's 41 plugins right now. 41 plugins in there that are ClassicPress specific. And I'm sure that's going to even grow more as more and more developers hop on board. And a little bit of tidbit of news with my experiment of migrating from ClassicPress. That site there I expect to actually make live next week. And it is the WP Plugins A to Z website, which has been converted to ClassicPress. And I'm just about done with the revamp of layout of everything. And I hope to make that live in the coming week. A couple of ClassicPress resources. Make sure you go check them out. You've got the ClassicPress Club, which is a great place to go find alternative forum information for non-techies. Check out the must-have plugin list at ClassicPress forums. This is a list of what plugins are must-have and whether people have checked off whether those plugins exist or not. So go check this one out. All in all, ClassicPress is coming along quite nicely, and I am looking for more information. And if you're a ClassicPress developer, please send me your ClassicPress plugins, and I will get them here on the show and showcase them. Eventually, I'll have a lot of them to work from. I'm really certain on that. All right, that closes out this episode here, and I covered up the Shortcode Cleaner, which I gave a 4 to, the Prevent Direct Access, which I gave a 2 to, and the WPFront Scroll Top, which I gave a 5 to, and the CP vars, which I gave a 4 to. Couple of quick reminders. The next WordPress meetup in Victoria will be in September on the 24th at 6:30 p.m. It's held in Victoria. It will be broadcast live on the YouTube channel. Make sure you check in for that if you can't make it. Please, if you can make it to the live event, come on down. It's only $5. Check out the events and that we're having, all the meetups that we've got scheduled for the coming year. You can go to wppluginsatoz.com/meetup and find out all about those events. That's pretty much all I got for you. So thank you very much for taking the time out to listen. And I'm going to let my girl take us on out of here.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsatoz.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsatoz.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsatoz.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsAtoZ. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Alrighty. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for joining me on the show. Much appreciated. I'll give it a few seconds, see if there's any questions. More than happy to answer. All right. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you much. You all have a good one, and we will talk to you next week.